All right, people. We live. It's Sunday, so you know what that means. It's the Breaking Bread. Today we're going to be talking about marriage because I'm going to be doing a four-part series called Where is the Love, which consists of me interviewing one married woman, one married man, one single woman, and one single man, and we're just going to talk about love, marriage, all of that good stuff. So today is part one, which I'm going to be interviewing a lovely married female, just waiting for her to get on so we can do the damn thing. And there she is. Hello there.
Hey, do you see me?
Of course I see you. Oh, you just went away. Uh-oh.
Okay. Can you see me? Okay.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right, that's good. That's good. What's going on there, girl? How you doing?
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
About to
You
be
see
the
what I'm
beginning of
saying?
a new week.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting myself together now as we speak, so I know how that is. So how you
Mhm.
been?
I've been good. Good. Trying to rest, recover, recuperate this past weekend. So I've been laying a little low.
I feel you on that. So that means you had a
Mhm.
good time then.
Yes, I did.
She said, "Yes, I
I
did."
attended, I was a matron of honor for one of my best friend's weddings. So it was
Ooh,
a good
okay.
time, but when you're the matron of honor, it's a lot of running
A
around
lot of
and it's a lot of
running around.
peopling. Hmm.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of mastered that. You came a long way. You was a caterpillar, now you a butterfly. You feel me?
No.
She said,
You
"No,
can start
don't
off
put
with the
that on me."
compliments. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I got to. But before I go any further, to the people that don't know you out there, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Life Coach Nikki. I am a life coach that helps people start figuring out who and how to become their authentic self by healing from their past, learning how to see things from a different perspective. So I like to really focus in on self-awareness. So you can find me on Facebook at Steps in Life and Instagram at underscore Nikki Marie Life Coaching.
Okay, nice little resume right there. I
Mhm.
like that.
Thank you.
But I kind of said it before you was on, but I'm pretty sure I told you what we're going to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
On the
okay, so you
marriage.
kind of have,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a four-part series called "Where Is the Love." You know, one part is going to be interviewing a married man. One part is going to be interviewing a married woman. The next part is going to be a single man and a single woman, so forth and so forth. And we're just going to be talking about love, marriage, single life, how hard it is, how good it is,
Mm-hmm. All the
stuff
good
like
stuff.
that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. 'Cause I don't know. I just was just sitting down one day in the cafeteria at my job, and I just was like, I want to do like a dope series, and then it just popped in my head, where is the love? And I said, okay, so I'm gonna roll with that,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of people out there, that's married, a lot of people out there that's single, and I just feel like, they can tell their story, share how they feel, the ups, the downs, if they choose to. 'Cause a lot of people don't like to talk about the downs, but
Mm-hmm.
but you know
The
how that
terrible
goes.
problem. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly my point. So it's like I kind of want to tread lightly with the questions I do ask because I don't
Okay.
want, the significant other be like, so that's how you feel? That's how you really feel? Yeah,
I would
they gonna be
say
like, what about
ask
you?
the questions. If I feel like you kind of skating on ice, I'll be sure to let you know. But my husband and I were pretty. We went through a lot. We've grown a lot. We've been through a lot. He knows what I do. He knows how I communicate. So he's
Yeah.
looped
But I
in.
mean, I sent you the questions though, so it's like, I'm gonna ask you already.
Mhm.
That's if you read it. Did you read it?
I scanned through it. I didn't want to come in premeditated with responses. I
I
wanted to be
love that. I
authentic and
love that.
genuine. So I got a
I
good glimpse of
love
it
that.
and said, I'm going to just
Yeah.
rock with it.
I love that. And that's like one of the things that I like doing about my podcast, or should I say with my podcast. I just basically think of stuff and I write it down. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like it's nothing that I look at and I practice because I feel for me personally, like it's more authentic if it,
Hmm.
comes from how you feel and who you are as a person at that moment versus sitting there having time to think, let me
Right.
say this. No, let me erase that. You know. So, but that's good. That's good. That's
I always
good.
be so
Yes.
honest. Like I'm gonna just come in and just let it come naturally. I didn't want to come in premeditated, so it didn't come off scripted. I want to just be me, be raw, and just keep it a buck.
There you go. That's what I like to hear, man. All right. Well, the first question is, life coach Nikki. In your own opinionated definition, what do you think love means?
Love is choosing when it's with a partner or just love openly. Because
Love in
it's
general, yeah. Love,
levels
yeah.
to it.
It's
When it
levels,
comes
yeah.
to like family and like friends and relationships, it's choosing to like accept and be there for the person that you're with because
Mhm,
it's
mhm,
unconditional. It has no limits, it has no bounds.
mhm.
Love being married to me has a whole nother twist to it because it's making a choice to go through life with someone. So unlike friends and even family, you can kind of like cut them off a little bit quicker. Marriage, you can do
Yeah,
the same, but you're making an honest choice and a decision to be there with your partner through all the ups, downs, and just keep rolling through, depending on the limits and the boundaries that you two set.
I like that answer. You sound like a fucking computer,
Mhm.
but that's natural though. I like that answer. Yeah, I like that answer. All right. So the next question I have for you is, how long have you been married?
My husband and I just hit 6 years married late last month, and
That's
7 years together in total.
that. My boy knew what he wanted. He put a ring on that in a
Yeah,
year. That's what I'm talking
he
about.
was very quick. He broke all 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 structures and walls in reference to how I usually roll. He kind of broke all of that.
That's how you know it's real, man. When that person is there willing to go through all of that, breaking them damn walls down, like I ain't going nowhere.
Hmm.
That's what I like to hear. Because, marriage in general, especially in the younger generation, like I know people that have been with a girl for like 15 years,
Hmm.
17 years and like never popped the question. And I'm just like in the back of my head, like, what are you so scared of? Like you've been with this girl all this time, you don't know if you want to marry her or not. But then to put the flip on it, it's a possibility that's something that they spoke about. Like maybe they didn't want to get
They
married.
didn't want to. Yeah,
Who knows? But like for me, it's just like, yeah, that's a long time. Like with me, with my ex, I think I asked her to marry me. Let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see. My daughter was young. I I say about maybe how old is my daughter? My daughter's 6 now. Okay. So my daughter was probably 2. So this was like maybe 20, 2019, I would
hmm
say. So it took me about 4.5, 5 years, for me to pop the question to her. But to hear in the year, I mean, that's what's up, man.
it's
Like it
different
really is, man.
though. It's different of like dating to date versus like dating intentionally. And I would say that's what helped my husband and I pivot in the path that we were in. I was very determined before I met my husband.
I like how you said that. Dating to date and dating with
Mhm.
intentions. Please tell me the difference in your opinion. 'Cause I like that right there.
So, my story can be my story can be a little funny. So, for those that don't know, I'm originally from New York. I'm from Long Island, New York. I moved down to Texas now. It's almost 12, maybe 13 years total. So, like, mm, I've always liked the cat and mouse chase. I was normally, talking to Caribbean guys like that type of level. Coming down to Texas, they're not like that. So I was just like, I miss a little bit of that swag. So it got
Yeah,
to a point where I was
yeah.
just okay, I'm not really getting that when I go out. Because a lot of the women down here, and it's changing with times, a lot of the women down here are actively seeking a husband. So it's
Got
what
you.
I came across East Coast mentality versus the Southern mentality is
Southern
New York
mentality, yeah.
mentality. I was raised to hustle, get your life together, and then look for something more serious. Whereas down here, if you're 25, if you're 25, you are getting stopped in the grocery store asking why you're not married and what's wrong with you. Like the mindset is completely different.
Yeah,
So it
the
was
the
hard
culture is
in the
different.
dating
Yeah.
pool because it was like, why is there all these expectations to get married? Like I was meeting dudes that were like 24, 26, divorced twice.
Whew.
And to me, like I was like, well, what's wrong with you? Like so it's that was a struggle. So I did online dating. I was on a handful of them.
Okay.
And at that time I was in Houston going to church for the first time faithfully, and this pastor from San Antonio, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about how women have like this Beyonce list of all the qualities of what it is that they're looking for and physical attributes. And then like he was like, you keep having this long list, the person that God is sending to you, you're going to bypass them because you're looking for something that you want and not necessarily being open to what it is that you may need. Um,
Well
so
put. Well
when,
put.
yeah, so when the pastor said that, I was like, okay, well, maybe all the stuff I was looking at before ain't hitting. So then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something different. So a year and change passed. I moved up to North Texas, Dallas area. And then I was just like, I'm lonely. Like I'm trying to get back out there. And I said, I'm going to try something different. So when I was
Hmm.
on the dating apps, I would start talking to people and then I started praying. I had this prayer where I was like, okay, God, if this person's not for me, just remove them out of my life and I'll work on my discipline of not trying to ask and seek why. Like, why
Yeah.
did
Right.
God remove this person,
Right.
and try to be settled in that discipline? I kid you not. Like, I would talk like two or three guys. I start this prayer that disappear in like a week or two. And I'm
Word.
like, what's
Wow.
going on? Then it got to a point where I would get ready to go on a date to meet someone because I had this thing like, if you can't be consistent for 2 to 3 weeks, I'm not meeting you in person because
Yeah.
it's
Word.
crazy out here.
It's a fact.
So then, like, before I would go on my first date, then I would pray. I would do that same prayer, like, just remove them, just block them, and I'll just learn to I'd be disciplined, but just send me the person that I'm supposed to be with.
Hmm.
And I kid you not, either I will go on the date and they would cancel before I got there, or we would actually complete the date. It would be great. And on my way back, they would just poof and disappear. Well, when my husband came
Mm.
around, he wasn't usually like my picture type.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started praying profusely. And no matter how often I prayed, he never went away. And then when we met, our first date, our first date wasn't the best. We say it's not our real first date.
Hmm.
Our second date was our true first date. And ever since then, I kept praying, praying, praying. And he just didn't go anywhere. And then we just got stuck. I started doing a whole bunch of stuff I normally don't do.
Yeah.
Um,
Word.
and then within like 10 months of us being together, he popped the question and I said, okay, let's rock out.
Like the way you put that, you still got that New York and you. Hey, let's rock out. Let's see what's
I was
up. You
like,
know what I
oh,
mean? Let's see what's
I had
good.
my friend in my ear telling me all this stuff. It was I would say, when I tell you things that I would never do, um, I had my ex at the time, well, he's still an ex, but my ex, we were best friends for a really long time and we dated for a really good time.
Okay.
And because of that, I got super intertwined with his family, where his family still was my family, even though we broke up.
Yeah, broke
And
up.
I
Yeah, yeah.
got, right, and I got invited to his cousin's 10-year renewal of their vows.
Got you.
And it was
Got you.
it was out there in Long Island. So I had my best friend was living with me within a moment. She was like, you can't go there by yourself. You gotta bring your boyfriend with you. And I, if he comes to New York, all the family's there. Can't really like dump him nowhere because you don't know nobody. Like, I'm gonna have to bring him around the family. And I'm known to, like, I can be with someone for a year, they won't meet family. So not only did I like bring him to the wedding, which was him on Front Street with all of my family, but brought him around all my family. And I think that's what helped jumpstart the pathway that we were on, because it just felt comfortable and safe.
That's what's up. That's an interesting story, but I agree with you because a lot of people tell me if you want to find real love, you got to get you a girl from the South. Them Texas, Atlanta girls, and like all Florida girls, they know how to love a man. And I'm just like, man, I don't know, but like everybody that I know that moved to like like Texas, Atlanta, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, they found their wives. So now I'm
Hmm.
starting to think in my head, do I gotta go out there to find me a girl because I ain't finding nothing on my parts, on my side. You know what I'm saying? But whatever though. But that's what's up though. That's a interesting story. You prayed and prayed and he did not
He
go nowhere. That is some
just didn't
divine
go.
intervention.
And like it's funny, it's funny you mentioned that because I was at a point where because my father resides in Texas. I told my father I was gonna move back to the East Coast, find me a man and bring him back to Texas. I was like, Texas is probably where I'm gonna stay at, but I
Yeah.
ain't got luck in the dating pool out here. And he was like, you really gonna leave? I was like, yeah, I can jump out to the East Coast real quick, be there for you, and then come back.
Yeah, come back.
Um,
Yeah, word,
and
word.
my husband's not even from Texas. My husband is 100% straight from Nigeria. So it
What?
still worked out differently than I just knew I
Wow.
wasn't going to be with a straight Texas guy.
That's from night. Wow, that's
Hmm.
crazy. Damn. Snaps for you,
Hmm.
girl, because that is some.
So be open. Don't move just to date, but
Yeah,
moving to get out of your current atmosphere was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And it got to a point where I started pushing everyone to leave where you're comfortable and try something
that's a
new.
fact. That's a fact. I actually read a book that says something like that. Like you will never get nowhere in life if you're not willing to be uncomfortable for a period of time. So I agree with you in that aspect.
Hmm.
Damn, that's what's up. All right. So the next question is, in your opinion, of course, what is the key to staying married?
Okay, I have a couple keys. Is that okay?
Of course,
Okay.
lay them on me, baby. Let's go. Let's get it.
Thinking back to the Beyonce list, don't look
Mm-hmm.
for what it is that you want, look for what it is that you need. My
Mm-hmm.
husband is everything that I needed, not necessarily what it is that I thought that I wanted at that time. I had to
Okay.
mature and grow and realize that what it was that I needed.
Okay.
Um, the other one is don't look for perfection. It doesn't
Powerful.
exist. Doesn't exist. If you don't consider yourself to be perfect, then you shouldn't hold your partner or the person you're looking for to be on that same level. Um,
I like that.
and don't marry for potential, accept where
Okay, I
people
like
are at.
that. I like that. Okay, that's deep. That's a deep
Hmm.
one right there because I feel like a lot of people in this generation can't accept that. Like they always try to turn somebody into what they want them to be. You feel what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
think that's one of the major reasons why the disconnect comes into play because I had to realize that. And I'm still realizing that. Like, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you cannot turn a person into what you want them to be.
Hmm.
They have to naturally be them. And if it doesn't coincide with what you're looking for, what you want, you know what you got to do,
Hmm.
you know? So wow, I definitely agree with that. That
Hmm.
right there is powerful. That's something like I said, we gotta pay attention to that, man. Stop trying to change people. Let them be who they are. If it's not meant for you, leave. Part ways, before let
Hmm.
it be an amicable breakup before it gets real ugly and nasty, you know?
And there's more to that too. Like don't sell someone, don't sell yourself in a different light that you're not there. Like
Hmm.
don't falsify information to make yourself look in a better light. You don't want someone to fall in love with your potential. You want someone to fall in love with who you are.
Yeah. I got It's not really a question, it's more of a statement, but I want your input. Like, I feel like when you're dating somebody, you're getting to know somebody, you should naturally be yourself in the beginning because that's the person that you're introducing them to, and that's the person you're going to get used to. And I feel a lot of people would normally do things they wouldn't normally do with others to just please a certain person to keep them around. How do you feel about that?
I agree with you, but I think it's deeper than that.
Okay, so let's get deep.
Like everyone, I agree. Like I think if everyone was just gonna come forward and just be truly who they are to themselves, then people can get a full feel of it. I think when
Hmm.
you get deeper into like marriage and that you want that long term relationship with our long term marriage, people are not going to be 100% of who they are when they deal with challenges and pain and things of that sort because it's
Hmm.
creating a safe environment. When people go through those things is when you actually get to see the real person. And when the environment itself is safe and it's established, then you get to see the true heart of someone with
Hmm.
their insecurities and anything else that they may battle with. People are not going to show their raw truth and the baggage that they carry. And sometimes they may not even know the baggage that they carry until it's triggered by something.
Yeah, because the reason why I say that because a lot of people tell me like, "Yo, you talk too much. You got a big mouth," and I'm like, "Why you say that?" Then they say to me, "You never keep something that they can be curious about who you are. You just let them be known who you are." And I said, for me personally, because of what I've been through, it's like I feel people will just tell you certain things that you want to hear, but will withhold other things. And I feel like that doesn't work out because in the end, that thing that they should have told you in the beginning, you don't find out until 3 or 4 years later,
Mm-hmm.
and you already in love, and then now you like, okay, this is the one thing I know I wouldn't be able to deal with, but I'm gonna try to look past it because I'm in love with that person. So for me, it's like I'm raw with it. You know, I tell them, who I am. I tell them what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and just let them deal with it. But a lot of people, for some reason, be hating on me for doing that, and I'm just like, why are you hating on me?
It don't
I don't want to.
matter if they hate.
Yeah,
It don't matter.
ex-
You ain't getting with them. So if they hate because they don't know how to handle their own stuff, like that's projection. That's dating intentionally. When my husband and I
hmm
had our true second date, the first date only lasted 45 minutes, and I was ready to skedaddle because he wasn't really talking. He was just smiling at me. Later found out that he was smiling because I actually looked like my pictures.
there
Um,
you go.
the
He was
second
mesmerized by your beauty. There you go. Put some respect on your name,
I didn't
Nicole.
know
You
that
look
people
good.
was really doing all that. I was naive in that sense. I'm like, just be yourself. Like I don't
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am who I am. I'm not I'm very authentic. But our second first date, that one is the one that lasted for about 5 to 6 hours in a restaurant. We just stayed there and I
Mm,
had a list in my head of all these questions I wanted to ask, and it basically sped up like 4 or 5 dates into one date. By that one true second
yeah,
date, we were able
word.
to solidify, is this something where we equally yoked on when it comes to our family, like our future, like what is it that we want to accomplish, like what broke us up, what our past relationships, what do we learn from? Do they talk bad about their partner? Like we went deep, and it's different of, like I said, dating just to date and get to know people, and just have fun versus dating intentionally to get married. And then you're able to weed out who actually wants to get married or who's okay to just be in a relationship, and either one is fine.
Okay, well, just talking to you, you're giving me so many questions to ask, so I'm loving this right now. So, what what do you, in your personal opinion, obviously, what do you think would be too long for a person that's seeking marriage to wait to see if that partner wants to do it or not? Like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 3 months?
I I feel like that. I feel like I can't put a timeline on it because I have met people, and I think that's what kind of allowed me to kind of move into a faster pace with my husband. Because I was the one that was like, I'm dating an old boy for like 5, 6 years, and when we get to that point, we really know where we're gonna be at. And then it's
It's
like
that New York
I
shit.
met like that was me. I'm like I want to see the real you. Like it's gonna get like let's really get into the dirt and really see what that looks like. How can you know somebody? Like that's the stuff that I was taught. Like I had my mom's voice in my head. You don't really know how people are gonna move until they start, showing their true colors. Like people can talk, but it's actions. So I was at that time dating, waiting for people to do certain actions for me to get validation that this is the person I would want to marry. And sincerely,
hmm
like I'm happy
hmm
I did it because I learned more about myself during that time. But like being in my late 20s when I met my husband, like I had a good understanding. I did a lot of healing work. So I knew that I was dating intentionally to get married because
Okay.
that's what I wanted to do. That was the message I got from the church. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
for me, it
Yeah.
was, are we equally yoked? Can we do this together? What does that look like? And are we on the same page or can we fight together? And once we started figuring out that that's what bound to do, then it was like, all right, let's really put this work in and see if this is something we can do. I
Yeah.
didn't know it was going to take
Word.
10 months. You know what I mean? But I
Of
have
course.
I have coworkers and other people that have dated for 2 months and got married, and they've been married for over 10 years. So I think it
Word.
really just depends on how how intentional you are with the person, and that could be
Hmm.
faster or slower depending on how much you really want it and how much your partner that you want really wants it. I don't think there's a full timeline.
You just have very well put answers, man. Like I'm like you need to do a podcast, man, because damn, I just love talking to you. But anyway, that's a sidebar.
Oh, thank you.
Um, okay, so you, mm, okay, I'm gonna
I was
ask a
like, let
question.
it go.
All right, this question right here is like depending on the person how they would feel about it. So it's like I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
You good.
Is marriage hard for you?
Marriage was extremely hard for me the first 4 years.
Okay.
I feel like the last year and a half, my husband and I, knock on wood, we are smooth sailing. I think we finally got reacclimated in reference to what our needs were because they changed as we were married as time progressed. But
Okay.
marriage is the hardest thing I've ever had to do and still do, and it's a choice.
That is, and that's a choice that I feel people really don't understand the importance of it. Like I think, and to me, in my opinion, I think some people just get married just to have the people around, the parties and everybody, Mr. and Mrs., but they don't really understand the
Mm-hmm.
underlinings, the under layers, and what you have to go through to keep that marriage strong. I think a lot of people do not pay attention to that shit, and that's one of the
I
reasons.
blame our elders because they didn't.
I'm glad you said
No,
it because I
I
was
told
about to say that,
them.
sis.
I spoke to our aunts. I told them all. It's all their
Yes.
fault. The generation before us and the generation before them, they will
Mhm.
always push marriage and to have a united household, but
Mhm.
they didn't really explain what the work was. So you have a lot of
Exactly.
people that get married, and then when they start having problems in their marriage and they start having conversations with certain elders, it's like you get into this club and then people start telling you, oh, this is what I had to do. But when you're dating, no one wants to tell you what marriage is. They want to push you towards
Mhm.
marriage.
Mhm. Mhm. That's a fact, and that's what I say all the time. Like I actually said something similar to that in my last podcast, and people don't understand. It's like you're gonna push me or you're gonna advocate marriage, but you gotta tell me how it is. You can't just push me in that direction and not tell me the underlining, the steps, the layers that you have to go through. And I feel like that's what really happens. That's where things go wrong because people really don't know the ins and outs of marriage like they should. They don't do their investigation like they should. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you in that aspect because that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of scared to get married because I want to get it right. It's no secret. I have, children with multiple women. Not on
Mm-hmm.
no Nick Cannon shit, but I got different baby mothers. But
Uh-huh.
and like to me personally, I said to myself, I got that wrong picking the partner to have a child with, right? Well, not saying I got it wrong, but well, fuck it, I'm gonna say I don't give a shit. But anyway, so it's like now in my head, I'm like, I do not want to get marriage wrong at all. Like I want it to be a one and done. I don't want to be though, yeah, this is my fourth wife, and nah, I want it to be a one and done. And I feel that's part of the reason why I'm scared to get married because I don't want to fuck it up.
I'm probably gonna pop the bubble for you.
Right. That's what I wanted. Pop that shit.
There is no guide in reference to what to having a successful marriage at all.
Hmm.
And I think that's why some people are a little bit more hesitant of sharing some of the struggles or some of the actions that they've taken because there is no guidebook. There is none. I mean, I'm a person that like I go ahead and I seek out my elders or the people that have a lot of wisdom to try to get advice and not necessarily put my business on Front Street, but to get their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's journey is different. Everyone's path in reference to get to what they define as a successful marriage is also different. And then it's also knowing that everyone's definition of a marriage may not be healthy either. So if
I
you're
like that.
looking
I like
for
that.
getting married and it being one and done and it being perfect, remember that was the one thing I told you as a key
Yeah,
from a
word.
person that is a recovering perfectionist. There is no such thing as perfect. There is no such thing as going in with it with a full guide. The way
Mm-hmm.
that you end up having a successful marriage is really learning to accept the person that you chose to be with. And then are both people committed to doing the work to keep working together to make marriage work because it never
Yes,
stops.
yes, it doesn't. You're right about that. It never stops.
So if you were looking for perfection or with the idea that it's not going to have any issues with it, then it would be something that you would forever be scared of and then not experience.
Yeah. For me, I don't really think it's the perfection aspect of it. It's just meeting a person on the same page. Because me, like I am a very loving and affectionate person. So it's like essentially I would want to find somebody that would be, if not just like that, but something like that, you
Mhm.
know? And I just think the reason why I'm scared is because, like you said, some people don't really show who they are until later on down the line. And I don't want it to be a situation where I'm thinking this is the one I want to marry and we get married and then next thing you know, they're just being completely different from how they were when we first met. And that's what I'm scared of. Like I'm just hoping to bump heads with somebody that's willing to be authentic like me and just say, look, this is who I am. This is what it is.
Mhm.
This is my ups, my downs, my goods, my bads, my flaws. If you can
Mhm.
accept it, go ahead. If you can't, then this ain't gonna work. And a lot of people don't do that. And I'm realizing,
A lot
now that I'm
of
thinking
people
about it,
don't even know.
that too,
So
that
that's why I
too.
said marriage is two people willing to put the work in. Some people don't come to an aha moment with the baggage that they're carrying until they've been in a relationship for a certain period of time and then someone calls it out. They've just been going through life. You don't realize that the way you've been moving single and the way you've been living your life as a single individual doesn't
Hmm.
serve as you being in a committed marriage. Because you have two
Yeah.
people that if they haven't been married before, you both are figuring out what marriage is. You're
Yeah.
breaking
Facts.
down what you thought marriage was, right? You're then figuring out what does marriage mean to you and your partner specifically. And then you're learning that, well, maybe the ideas we had set, maybe we need to tweak some things. If there's
Hmm.
flexibility, communication, and work to start tweaking it, then that's when you're able to start moving forward with it. But if you're going to have like this slim, narrow viewpoint of like you having someone that has it all together, the
That'll
majority
never happen.
people don't have it together. And
Yeah.
some people don't know they
Word.
don't have it together until someone else calls it out or something in life happens where they then realize that they don't have it together. Can you give
That's
your
true.
partner grace? Are you going to work with your partner? Are you going to have patience? Well, how much patience do you got?
No, that's a fact. That's a whole fact. You're right about that. Damn, that that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you.
Because I went in like how you did. I was like, I got this all figured out. Like I'm gonna make sure I got myself together as a wife. I have my education, my finances, like every career, everything lined up. And then I met someone who was my husband, and we went in with the same vision. But when it came to executing and dealing with different life challenges, what we had didn't serve us. We had to figure out how can we rebuild it differently to make it work.
Yes, yes, yes. I like that. Okay, on to the next
Hmm.
question. Uh, what advice would you give people that are seeking marriage?
Do the self work. Don't have this whole expectation of what your partner is supposed to have and do and be mentally and emotionally if you're not doing that same work on yourself. Try to be equally yoked with the person that you're seeking. Um, so that way, when you're going through your healing, you can have a sense of understanding and compassion and empathy to your partner if they're now going through something while you're going through it. But oftentimes, people map out who their partner's going to be and not spend that same time investing into themselves.
I
Because what if
was
the
just getting
person
ready to say
that you're
that, yeah.
seeking, that person may not seek where it is that you're at? So why don't you build yourself up to be that person that you truly want to be and that you want to attract?
And it's damn, that's crazy. The synchronization is crazy right now because I literally was just gonna say I had seen a video where this guy said for all the people out there that want a dream partner, make a list of what you want, and if you're not everything on that list, then scratch that shit. Like just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want something or certain things from people, be what you want. That's crazy how synchronization is crazy. I just literally was gonna say that,
Mm-hmm.
and you just took the words out my mouth. That's wow. That's crazy. Okay, okay. All right. This is the last question. And I think you're gonna bomb on this
Oh
one because
boy.
you be giving some good ass advice. I'm just saying. You see, shit, the thumbs up. They thinking in my head what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I think you have a good answer for this question, so I'm
Okay.
gonna ask.
No pressure.
Um, what advice would you give to the younger generation about love?
Remove all expectations and go in it with your full heart. Um, be mindful of who you get advice from because hurt people hurt people.
Oh Lord, say it again for the people in the back in case they ain't hear
Hurt
you.
hurt people, and that applies even when you're married. Like if you're talking to someone that hasn't healed from their marriage and they're divorced or is in a toxic marriage, that is probably not the person that you're going to want to get advice from for certain situations that you may be battling or being challenged with in life because their perception of it may be different and they haven't healed from it. It's still coming from a painful place. Um, and seek healing. All the stuff that you go through as a child does come up in your marriage.
It damn sure came up in our
Mm-hmm.
relationships. You ain't lying
You
about
can't
that, man. Just
hide from it.
yeah. No matter how much you try to sweep it under the rug or try to run away from it, as soon as you slow down and catch your breath, that problem's gonna be right there next to you. Like, okay, we're gonna deal with this now, or you're gonna keep running. All right, I'll catch up with you later. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and that is true, and that's one of the things. Like for me personally, on why I feel some of my relationships didn't work is for that same exact reason. Like I knew I had a problem, but I figured if I just, tried to not think about it, it would go away. But it always just
Mm-hmm.
came creeping up,
They don't
knocking on
go
the door,
away.
like yo, Meek, yo, what's good, bro? You forgot about me? You don't
Mm-hmm.
remember me? So that's true what you said, man. So I definitely agree with that. Like, don't run from your problems, fix them because they will not go away if you don't. So I agree with you in that aspect for real. But you got any questions for me?
I was gonna say, hey, you got any other questions? Since you was partially scared of being married.
Yeah, like I mean, like I am because, like I said, it's just I don't want a perfect marriage. I don't want a perfect wife. I just want a situation where we both have a common goal as far as making sure this marriage stays together. Because I don't know. I'm just scared because like a lot of people around me, I would say on my mother's side, family wise, maybe let me see, one, two, maybe two people like family wise
Mm-hmm.
that still married after like 10 years. But my father's side, as you know, it's a different story. Like they believe in that marriage shit, so they together. But my mother's side, was the side I'm really around the most, or I was
Mhm.
around the most,
Mhm.
and just seeing what they went through, it just kind of scared me because I have a whole shitload of cousins on my mother's side, and only two of them are married, and I'm just like, damn, those odds are crazy, and I just say to myself, could I really, be married with somebody? Like, it's just a whole shitload of questions that I have when I see that, and I just be like, damn, I don't want to be like that, because seeing my cousins and my aunts and my uncles after the marriage, like they were like a completely different person. Like they were more angry, they were more upset, and I'm just like, I don't want to be that way, and just
Mhm.
taking it out, being mad at the world, taking it out on everybody, and I just said to myself, I don't want to get to that point. So that's part of the reason why, because I know me, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. I put my all in relationships. You feel what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
it's like I know me. If I put my all and I don't get what I'm given, it makes me a better person. So it's like I don't want to be like that. So seeing them go through that with marriage, and then on top of that, you got to split stuff in half. So that that adds to the anger, that adds to the emotion, and I'm just like, damn, would I be able to go through that? So that's part of the reason why I'm like, I'm scared.
I'm gonna keep it. I mean, I'm not saying that I was. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Mm-hmm.
Being coming from coming from a divorce. My parents were divorced when I was
Mm-hmm.
like two. I didn't see them together, and it was good because they're good, but they're not good together for a long
Yeah.
period of time.
Right.
Um, so I learned a lot of in like to be more independent because of that from my mom, which made me like hyper independent. And then
Mm-hmm.
being around both sides of the family where there's a lot of people that have been divorced. I'm around more people that are divorced and around
Mm-hmm.
more people that the few people that I am around that are married, some of them
Facts.
don't
You
need
see it. Yeah.
to be
Word.
married. They actually need to go ahead and separate. They're staying together just to be together for the legal side of it or just because they don't want to be by themselves. And it's just a
Yeah.
toxic
Word.
environment all the way through. So like my
Word.
mindset was I'm okay to get married, but I'm also okay to get divorced if it no longer serves me. And my viewpoint of that is different than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I feel you.
we have family members that have stayed married until the other partner dies, and then you're finding out about abuse, um,
Yeah.
sexual
Word.
assault. You find about all these crazy things, and it's just like they should have got separated, right?
Word.
So, what I would say to you is marriage is scary. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Marriage is scary because you are you are you are making a commitment to live life with someone and go through life not knowing what's going to be in the future. You can have a full plan and you don't know what's going to come.
That's a
What I would
fact.
say that changed me was is learning how to let go of being so independent, but then learning how to
Mm-hmm.
communicate what is it that I need in order for me not to be so independent. Um, it also was not looking to have like certain like what marriage should look like and then also pray and seek for different characteristics. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need someone that gives up early. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to fight? How long are you going to fight? Like, are you passionate? Like, can you communicate when stuff gets hard?
Mm-hmm.
If you start looking into more characteristics of how people manage struggle, stress, family losses, because that's triggering, you know what I mean? Financial burden, things of that sort, and how their mind works, then it's more or less like having more tools in your kit to be able to go to battle when you're married. But
Yeah.
if you're
Word. I
looking
like that.
for like an image, you know what I mean, or like a description of what a wife should be, then you're not necessarily looking for the tools that you need in order for you to have a balanced, healthy marriage. And
Mm-hmm.
then that's when you have expectations and assumptions and then disappointment and then resentment that starts kicking in. So think of characteristics. That's what I had to switch my gear with my husband. I was looking for this whole description
Yeah.
like has to be over 6'2" because I'm tall, like needs to have like close to six figures, like need to have their own car, like if we in the South, own house, like something stability. Give me some other things that I don't have so that we can like be the Beyonce and Jay-Z. But when it really came down to it, I was already strong in a lot of parts. I needed someone to be there to support my mental and my emotional state. Like help me unpack that.
Mm,
So
mm,
that's why I said
mm,
my spouse wasn't something that I was like on the wants and the whole long list that I had, but God knew that that was someone that I needed. Even when times got hard, and they do get hard, I normally either ask myself or I would ask my friend if they were going through something. Even right now, when stuff is hard and you don't see a way out, would you still choose your partner?
mm,
And even through
mm.
everything that we went through, he would get on my nerves, love him to death, but it will still be, I don't see myself with anybody else. So we can't be fighting each other. We're not the enemies. We got to fight the problem together. And that takes a mental switch because when you're always working on fixing your own problems or being in the lead of certain things, you're now learning how to share that with someone and then trust or learn how to build trust that you guys can actually work it out together. And it may be a whole different path than what either one of you may be used to, but it's having faith because you don't know where it's going to go. And are you also going to give the space for your partner to grow? I mean, we all change. Can you change together?
Yo, that is some deep shit you just said just now.
Mhm.
Serious. Like I gotta get close to the camera on this one. I just love the way you broke it down because that is okay. See, you got me stuttering and shit because you really messed up my head what you just said just now. Like that's exactly what I want. Like exactly how you put it out. Yo, man, I thank God we're doing this podcast. I'm gonna be watching this shit. I'm gonna be writing down what you said, all of that, because you
Really, like
just
really sit in it because it changes. That's the difference of like dating a date and then dating
hmm
intentionally. Like
hmm
people are gonna come with flaws, but are all the tools that you need to be successful, do they have it? And if they don't have it, are you guys willing to learn and cultivate it together? Like that's what makes a
facts.
marriage to be able to live long. Because the moment that
hmm
the other person is out, then it's
It's
like
done.
or
Yeah,
that one
word.
person is trying to build and continue this house and kind of build it and build a stronger foundation and then resentment sticks in because only one person is doing all and the other person is doing something else
That's a fact. So that's the main thing, being on the same page. That's man,
or
that's
learning how to work to get back on the same page because you're always not going to be on the same page and nobody tells you none of that, especially
of
when
course not.
you're dealing with like mental health, depression, anxiety, because I got both of them. And it's like
Yeah,
how do you manage happiness? Like before it was the mindset that I've always heard was is you guys take care of each other then everything works out well. For me, I tried that. That didn't work. For us, it was we have to learn how to be happy as individuals first. Still being married, but learn to find out what makes us happy. And if we don't know how to make ourselves happy, then how can your spouse do it?
that's true. That
So
is so
now we
true.
take care of our own individual happiness and we bring it together because now that we're both happy, our marriage is naturally happy. And then we're just building on top of it.
I gotta say this. This is a sidebar, so it doesn't have nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I remember when I was younger, I used to tell Aunt Tracy I ain't like you.
Oh, that's fine.
You you know, I used to
Can
tell
I
her
ask
all.
why
I'm
you
gonna
ain't
tell
like
you.
me? Okay.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I would say to Aunt Tracy, I don't like Nikki. Why you don't like her? I'm like, because she just comes over here with that prissy demeanor and she just thinks she knows everything and I don't like the way she looks at me. And you know what she said to me? She said, if you actually just sit down and listen to what that girl has to say, even though it may not make sense to you, but it
Mhm.
makes sense. And now, fast forwarding 15 years later, I see why. Dead ass. I see why. Because I'm telling you, Nikki, I did not like you. Every time you come around, I was like, oh my God, here we go. This motherfucker, man.
I promise you, like, I am not offended. I am normally the person, and it used to bother me when I was like in middle school because it
Mm-hmm.
started in like early stages middle school up until like
Mm-hmm.
even now. People tend not to like me because of my resting bitch face. It is what it is. You can't read
Yo,
me.
yo,
So
facts.
so because I wasn't readable and my face was serious, then people will automatically either get intimidated or be like, I can't read her, so I can't trust her. I'm not gonna do anything because I'm
Yeah,
quiet. But
yeah,
I'm not quiet. I'm just very observant. So the people I get comfortable around, that's when I start talking. If I don't
yeah,
feel like I'm gonna be able to vibe with nobody, I'm gonna say to myself that I'm perfectly content.
yeah,
I have no problem. But usually when I start talking, then they'll be like, okay, oh, you're pretty cool. And I'm okay
yeah,
with that. It's
yeah,
like a filter. I get rid of people that don't need to be in my circle in my space anyway. And
yeah.
then if they see
It's a
it,
fact.
then we'll see what happens.
And it's funny, 'cause I just was gonna say that too. She just was like, "You don't like her. She's just like you." I'm like, "She ain't nothing like me." Mom Tracy would tell me, "You quiet, right? If you don't know who anybody is, you gonna sit there in the corner and grill everybody. You want to kill him, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Aunt
Mhm.
Tracy, you right." Well, that's probably why. That's probably why. If you actually sit down and talk to her and hear what she has to say, she makes a lot of sense. But it's true. Well, touche, Aunt
Yeah,
Tracy.
and I
Touche.
just felt like you were the wild one. You and
Yeah,
little
I
Larry.
was.
And I was like, I'm not trying to get in trouble. So I
I
kept to myself
was.
on purpose. I was like, I'm
I
okay.
was. That's a fact. Like
Mhm.
everybody says the same thing, like you said just now. I was the wild one, but the crazy thing about it is I was the most loving and caring person. But I would never let you know that shit though. But I was
Mhm.
though. Yep, I was the wild one. So I gotta agree with you on that. Like, I used to get Larry into a lot of shit,
Mhm. No, I
but
know.
a lot,
Mhm.
a lot of trouble.
I know.
Dead ass, man. But wow,
Mhm.
damn on Tracy. Wow, damn. Okay, I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. But I just
I
had to say that to you
know when
because
Tracy was saying all this stuff. I think it's funny.
you like
Never
I'm
told me any of this.
I'm gonna tell you why because with me like one thing I could say I loved about Aunt Tracy so much is like she would say to me all the time, "Stop pretending." And I'm like, "What you talking about? Stop pretending. This is not who you are. You are a gentle giant. You love people. You're not a, She would tell me you're not a thug. You're not tough. You're not gangster. Stop pretending to be that." And she just would give me my little facials. And still to this day, like I'm big on my face. Like I have
Mhm.
all type of exfoliation creams, facial scrubs
Mhm.
because of Aunt Tracy. Because she just would sit here and say, "Come in the room. Let me give you a facial." And
Mhm.
like we would have so many conversations, and you came up a few times. That's why I had to say that. But like she for me was like the epitome of just that love. I mean, don't get it twisted. She had her other side
I
where she'll
was like,
wild out on you.
she looked good at her
You know what I
bonnet.
mean? But it's just like with me, it's like she
Yeah.
just always showed me unconditional love, and that's just one of the things I really miss now, man, because like no matter how old, even when I got a little older and I was in my 20s, she still was giving me facials.
Mhm.
I'm like, "Oh, Tracy, you can't be doing. I mean, shut up. You like him, right? You like him." I'm like, "All right, Tracy, go ahead." And I'll be sitting there in a little chair with my head back, and she just would be doing her thing with my face, and I would love it.
Mhm.
You know, they're serious, man. But now I'm starting to see why, you know, we reconnected because I would never thought in a million years me and you would get to this point at all.
Mm-mm.
I would
No,
have
I
never
agree with
thought.
you.
You know
Nope.
what I'm saying? So it's like this actually look at you and see how far you came and talking to you it's all starting to make sense, Like
Mhm.
the dots are connected for me. And then I'm just letting you know right now, I don't care. My people know who I am. You about to be my life coach. I'm gonna stop acting like a bitch and I'm gonna do it. But what I'm saying is like, yo, it's gonna be a crazy ride. I'm just letting you know
That's
because I got a
that's
lot of
fine.
stuff on my mind, a lot of stuff I gotta say, a lot of stuff I went through, a lot of stuff I did to people. So it's like You know, you from New York, so you know what it is. So just be
Mhm.
prepared, cause you might
I'm
have it on
I'm
the.
ready to go. And just be prepared that when you come, I always tell people I match
Mhm,
people's energy and I give information based on what it is that I think that they can receive at the moment.
mhm,
So just know that in order for you to get to the point that you want to get to, you're gonna have to be
mhm,
delivered harsh truths. So as long as you're able to receive it and then do the work and then process it,
mhm.
then you'll be able to get to the marriage state that you want to go ahead and receive. I
Okay.
think you are holding on a lot of stuff. I feel like my assumption, I feel like you're in this big bubble of self-awareness right now and you're starting to identify a lot. And now
Mhm.
you're really looking forward to kind of doing some of the work to like become this new person, a
That's exactly
different version of yourself.
that's exactly where I'm at, you know. But where it's a stalemate for me is knowing how to go about doing it, you know, because I tried doing it in my own way, thinking it was the right thing, and it really
Mhm.
wasn't. Or maybe it could have been the right thing, but it was the wrong situation, you know, the wrong surroundings or the wrong person. I don't know. So it's like I'm just trying to like go down every avenue possible to get to a solution that I can utilize personally, I can utilize in life, relationships, you know, all of that good stuff. So this is, you know, where you come into play.
I was going to
God
say that
damn it, on
that's
Tracy.
perfect because it's like when I'm looking for, not when I'm looking for clients, but like when I'm having like the free session I have is called the perfect fit. It's looking for people that actually want to try something different and
Mm-hmm.
they've also tried other stuff. Because the
Mm-hmm.
way that I communicate, the way that you're going to get things, life coaching is to help guide you and coach you
Mm-hmm.
through it so that you can do things a little bit differently. But you have to have the drive to want to do things differently and to be open to receive it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
different from therapy. Therapy is going to help like the treatment aspect of it and work on different aspects of it. Life coach has a lot more free range and I give it to it straight. But I need people that are actually looking to do something different and to put that work in. Because if you are not willing to invest in yourself, then it's I won't keep a client just because they're paying. Like if you're
Right.
not doing the work, I'm okay with severing the ties because then it's not
So
beneficial. You're not really
for
getting
both of
anything
us.
out of it. And I don't believe in people wasting their money.
But before we end this live, make sure you drop your information in the comments so they can like know how to reach you because like you like I'm kind of happy it's you because I personally know you and like hearing you speak it kind of eases me because like versus doing it with somebody you don't know because like as
Mhm.
you know like we're very guarded people so it's like me personally I'm just afraid to like let people into the inner layers of me so for it to be you it kind of you know eases me you know mentally emotionally and all that stuff so I'm kind of happy about that so once again for the fifth time shout out to Aunt Tracy man because
Mhm.
you said something like this was going to happen I just didn't think it was really going to happen but
No,
hey
that's wild. Because she told all your stuff, but she ain't tell me. So I'm hearing it through other people now.
yeah you ever thought about it maybe you didn't need to hear it because you knew what it was already
Yeah, but I selfishly, yes. Selfishly, though, I wish she would have told me more of that
mm-hmm.
because then I would have been interested to get more wisdom from her.
Yeah.
She did tell me in her own ways, but I didn't know how much she was talking to you guys about me in different ways because it never came back to me.
Okay. Because I think like she didn't say it in so many words, but like from the conversations that I had with her, I felt that she knew you were way ahead of your time. You feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
She told me that.
She that you were way ahead of your time. Like you weren't supposed to like grow up in this generation, or maybe you were to like enlighten us, but mentally it's like even though we were all young, you had the mind of an adult. Like you knew certain things that we didn't know. So I feel like that's probably why she never really felt like she had to have the conversation she had
Mm.
with, you know, with me, with Larry or with Notorious and stuff like that, because she already knew you had it together. You just had to figure it out on your own because I agree with you. Like I never really, when I was around, I never like really saw her like break bread with you, and like I would always wonder in my head why. And then she told me a few times, like in so many words, that yo, she's ahead of her time, man. You know. So maybe you
She
are
she
the
was doing
modern.
crazy stuff. My mom was like, you can't sleep
Yeah,
over.
yeah, because
But
we was man.
so
Yeah, we had.
some of it was that my mom was very protective of myself and my sisters.
Mhm.
Um, and part of it was, to kind of shelter us a little bit. Queens Live, y'all was doing other stuff that we weren't doing out in Long Island. So
Like
trying
that's
to
a
keep
fact.
that is trying to keep that
That's a fact.
under wraps. So
The raps.
it's been cool because like even though Aunt Tracy isn't here anymore, it's cool because as much as she's been talking to you guys, it's like it's full circle. It's like
Mhm.
she's left, but then I've been getting closer with all you guys individually at all
Mhm.
different times. And it
Yeah, word.
feels stronger, more authentic, and then it just feels like it's the right time. So it's like I wish I would have known selfishly a little bit more from her because I probably would have want to pick her brain a little bit
Yeah, word.
more. But at the same token, it's nice to hear that she thought that way and she spoke about me in that sense.
Yeah, she did. Like you, I'm. If she was alive and you was an astronaut, she'll tell you. But like I said, you was ahead of your time, Nikki. You know, you were a unicorn. You were a unicorn before a unicorn in this generation. You know what I'm saying? Like you were ahead of your time, man. It's like it's proven right now because like look at you. Like I would never thought in a million years you would about to be my fucking life coach. Like what? You? Like what?
The
I would
the
never
the
thought
one
it.
you didn't like.
Yeah, like you, and I'm just like, it's all starting to come around full circle. And I understand
Mhm.
what Aunt Tracy meant about you being ahead of your time because you really were ahead of your time, seriously. And I'm happy to see, where you at, and I'm kind of excited, to go on this journey with you and see where it takes me because I'm ready, man.
I'm watching you too. I mean, I'm not the best of like sharing with compliments. I'm learning to get better with that. But
Yeah,
it's cool to watch your self-awareness journey that's coming out on your podcast. And you're doing a great service with having these conversations with people because
yeah,
it's feeding information to people that may not have access to other people to get this information. So that way
I
they can maybe
appreciate
think
you.
of life a little bit differently or get something that they need at that moment that they didn't know that they needed. So you're
I
doing a service
appreciate you for
too.
saying that.
Go ahead. You
Yeah. All right. So I usually do a quick five, but I ain't gonna hold you like this podcast got me like low key emotional and yeah, this whew, man. All right. You are ahead of your time, girl. I'm telling you, if nobody said this before, I'm gonna say it now. You are needed, especially now in this generation. You're needed and you are going to be something special. You are going to be a pariah. And I mean that shit from my heart. Like literally, I'm getting chills in my body talking to you. And man, whew, you're gonna be so special, girl. I'm telling you, your time is coming. Like I see you in the upper echelons of life coaches. I'm talking about you're going to have doctors, lawyers, millionaires, billionaires coming to you because you are special. And I mean that. Like I mean that because me, I'm an empath. I pick up on vibes and I
Mhm.
pick up on energy. And it's like your energy and your vibe is sincere. It's not like one of those I'm just gonna say what they want to hear, or I'm not just gonna say what he wants to hear or what she wants to hear. I'm gonna speak my truth and speak from my heart about how I feel, and that's authentic. Because it's like how sometimes these life coaches and these psychiatrists and therapists, you can tell they're like, well, okay, so how do you feel? Oh,
Mhm.
that's nice. So did you try doing this? No, I don't want that. Like, like sometimes this one therapist I had, I lie to you not. We would do like the video chat. What
Mhm.
is it's called telehealth. That's what it's
Telehealth.
called.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking, he had glasses on like me. So as I'm talking, I'm seeing the reflection of him looking at the paper, and I'm like, is this motherfucker serious right now? Like, is he really like going off a book? What you're doing
Oh.
could possibly help people and change lives. So by you doing that shows me you don't even know what the hell you're doing. Even if you are gonna go through a book, practice that shit before we have our session. You know what I'm saying? Like that right
Mhm.
there is gonna have me nervous. Like, you know what? Maybe this is not the right person for me because I don't want him to tell me the wrong thing that might not correlate with what I'm feeling or what I'm trying to do. So for you to basically off the top of your dome answer the questions that I'm asking just shows you're sincere with it. You don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. And we need to normalize that, man. You know, we need to stop choreographing our life and just live it. And by you
Mhm.
answering the questions the way you did just shows because you could have. I basically sent you those questions because I thought I ain't gonna lie, you was gonna okay. What he said, okay, so I'm gonna write this down and I'm gonna answer like this and I'm gonna say that or whatever, blah blah blah. And you didn't do that. So for that, salute you, girl.
I appreciate that. I'm
And you
receiving
know,
and processing everything you just said because you just filled my cup today. Thank you.
I'm serious, and I'm glad to say, even though it took me 37 years, I actually like you now. So thank you.
You're pretty cool yourself.
You know, but any last words, any advice you want to give to the viewers out there? Just off the top of the dome. If you don't, that's cool. If you do, that would be even better. So,
Love yourself on the path that you are on, no matter how hard it is. Just seek to learn the lessons that you're supposed to be learning.
you talking to me right now?
No,
You
that's the
talking
message.
that? Yo, damn. Wow. 'Cause I'm currently going through what you just said. Damn. Yeah, we gonna get into the nitty gritty because you I felt you was talking to me just now when you said that.
Then that probably
That
was on the spirit for you to receive that. I would say that's the trend that I'm when I'm talking to people and really hearing what they're at, people are looking for an end goal, but a lot of
mm-hmm.
times people are so focused on the end goal that they're missing what it is that they're supposed to learn. You're not gonna be able to open up the door that you want to open if you're not doing the work and where you're currently at. And if you're not doing the work to actually learn it, then why is God gonna open the door?
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, for me, the advice I would give, I would say just heal and don't be afraid to go through the trials and the tribulations. Don't be afraid to go into that dark tunnel because the end of that tunnel is going to be the light, and that's the healing that you're going to need. Don't be afraid to heal. Don't be afraid to
Mm-hmm.
ask questions. Don't be afraid to be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing because that's the opportune time for like you to go to a higher power, God, whoever you pray to,
Mm-hmm.
or go to a trusted older relative because so many people have the false realization of thinking that I can do it on my own. Like I'm guilty of that. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
always thought I can do it on my own. I can figure it out. I don't need nobody. And like now as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize like
Mm-hmm.
we all need help at one point in our lives, you know? So that's why I'm here now, you know, talking to you because we all need help.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got for y'all. Don't be afraid to heal and don't be afraid to ask questions, man, because that's the answers to those questions is what's gonna help you to get to where you need to get to. Is what's gonna help you get through that dark tunnel. So get through that tunnel, walk in the dark, come out the end in the light, you know? But
Ooh,
I
can I add something on that?
go
Just because
right
it came
ahead,
up in
please.
the conversation.
Please, go ahead.
There's a thing of knowing which type of questions to ask. A lot of times when people are going through certain things, they're focused, the question that they're asking is the why, like why did this happen? And they're not necessarily seeking the questions of what am I supposed to learn from this? If you start asking questions to help
Deep.
pivot you forward or to identify the lesson that you need to learn, that's how you're able to move forward versus just staying stagnant and dwelling off of what happened. Then that you don't move anywhere. So still do your healing,
Mm.
but ask questions to seek a higher level of healing and get the lesson that you need to learn.
Whew. Let's get it. Let's get it. You damn. I think I just made a new best friend.
Oh,
Dead ass. Like I'm going to well, like I said, we're gonna do the life coach thing, but I'm definitely gonna be picking your brain because
I got you.
you really like you sincere with it, like you're true with it, and it's just it's rare to find that. You know, like so many people just pretend to be something because it seems cool or it seems like what the person wants to hear.
Mhm.
You know, so to come across people that are authentic and are real is just like it brings joy to me, man, because that's what I need. Like I don't want people to be like, yeah, Meek, yeah, you right. Yeah, yeah, like Meek, you right. You this.
Mhm.
No. Stop telling me that. Tell me what you really feel. If you feel like I'm doing something wrong, put me on the game. Don't
Mhm.
leave me in the dark telling me, yeah, yeah, you right, you right, you right. And then in the back of your head, you like, I knew that motherfucker should have been doing that.
Mhm.
No. You know, so
Yep.
for you to be who you are, I appreciate you. I salute you. I
Mutual.
love you, my
Love
queen.
you.
We gonna be doing some
We will
big
definitely
yes.
connect.
You
Hmm.
know, we will definitely connect. But y'all know the motto, y'all. As always, spread love, not hate, chase our dreams. We off this. Peace.